Hello, welcome to this video, which is effectively an end of term assembly for you all. Normally we would have had a separate year group assembly for everyone in the school, and I'd have spoken to you all about the kind of year that we've had at St Ivo and where we might be going for next year, wishing you well for the summer and talking about staff colleagues who are leaving. Obviously we've been in exceptional circumstances this year, and I don't think any of us could have predicted, even perhaps in February, that we'd have ended the year in the way that we have. I know for some of you it will have been a very difficult time, a very challenging time, either through your own situation or situation of people around you. And I think we need to specifically acknowledge students in Year 11 and Year 13 who've had one of their huge rites of passage, which is finishing school and taking exams, taken away from them. Now, there are arrangements for them to get grades in the summer, and we all know about that. However, I do understand that many of you in Year 11 and Year 13 will be left with a feeling of kind of incompleteness at the moment. Certainly my son's in Year 11 and he's feeling very much the same. What I can say to you all is that whatever you go on to do next year, whether it's coming back to sixth form here, going to a sixth form or college in the area, or for those of you in the sixth form moving on to university, you will have the same experience as everyone else. Those things will move on, but you will be formed by having been this year's exam years. If any of you tuned into the Prime Minister's statement to Year 11 and Year 13 last week, you'd have seen him talking a great deal about what an unusual situation it is and how you can say that your actions helped save lives, which is nice of him to say. But you are going to be coloured for the rest of your life by this experience. And I hope all the stronger for it. Certainly one of the things that's happened in school is we've had to reflect on some of the things we do and some of the things we don't do and say, well, how has the current situation made us change things? For most of you, you've been at home working on work that we've set for you remotely, and it's not ideal at all. And we know it's not ideal, and we know that people will have had varying degrees of success with that, and some of you will have found that fine, some of you will have found it dull, some of you will have found it very time consuming, some of you won't have found it an easy thing to deal with. Our job in September, when the school does reopen or open fully, is to spend time with you working on what you've missed, what skills you need to improve, and helping you get those. Now, I've written to everyone's parents this week outlining how the school is going to operate in September. If you've seen that guidance, you'll know that the school will be a very different place. We're going to have to operate in bubbles based on year groups, which means each year group will be designated an area of the school that will be theirs, that they won't be moving from for their lessons. So, for example, Year 7 will be in the maths rooms, and they will have all of their lessons except PE, dance and possibly drama in a maths room. So that means art in there, music in there, computing in there, and all those subjects will have to operate differently. Now, we've been asked to do that, as have all schools nationally, in order to keep you safe, to keep you secure, and to minimise any risk of a further outbreak. The school is also well set up now that if there were a further outbreak, either nationally or locally, and we did have to close part or all of the school, we would know exactly what to do this time. Now, the end of the year normally involves prize giving, and if you've seen that parent communication letter that's gone out this week, in it we've gone through who has won, all of the subject prizes for this year. And many, many congratulations to all of those people. I'm not going to go through them all now, but you will see that. And we look forward to resuming that and indeed house activity next year. So in September, we're going to start back with just Year 7 and Year 12 on the first day, on the Monday, and then the rest of you will return on the Tuesday. Please, please, please look out for further information over the summer, because we expect there to be changes throughout the summer in arrangements about travel. There might be further guidance on face coverings on school buses and things like that. And we might want to share further instruction about what happens when you arrive on your first day. So keep an eye out for all of that. Now, the end of the term also sees a number of staff moving on from the school. And this summer is exactly the same. So, leaving us, we have a number of people who are moving on to new opportunities. So, Miss Waldock, who you'll know has been one of our science technicians for part of this year, she's leaving us, as is Miss Charter, who's been teaching English with us for a year. She's moving to a school in Peterborough. And Miss Bradshaw, who has taught both music and PSHE for us, is moving to pursue a training course outside of education. So, many thanks to those three, and we wish them every success. We have a number of staff who are leaving us to take up promoted positions in other schools. Miss Wagnall, who has been working with some of you in English this year, albeit briefly, will be stepping onto a promoted English role going into next year. Mrs Burden, who's been with us many, many years, working down in design technology, is leaving us to become the head of design technology at Comberton Village College. And huge congratulations to her. We wish her every success in that. And Mrs Gosling will be leaving us. She's going to work over at Northstowe at the new secondary school there as one of their assistant principals, which is a fantastic achievement. And we wish her every happiness and success there. Now, the summer also sees a number of people retiring after long careers in education. So I need to thank the following people who are going to be retiring from us. Mrs Munro, who most of you will know from the School Exams Office, she's going to be retiring at the end of the year, and we wish her every happiness and success. Mr Rowe, who's taught maths with us for the last few years, and prior to that has worked in senior positions in local schools for many, many years. He's taking retirement, and we should miss him dearly. Mr Andrews formally retired from us last year, but when we got a bit short-staffed in English, he and his wife, Mrs Andrews, came back for a year to help us out. And we're enormously grateful to both of those, and we wish them a long and happy retirement. And then two people are leaving us who've been with the school a very long time and have had huge influence over many, many of your experiences. First of all, Miss Francis, who's been our special needs coordinator for the last 10 years, has decided that it's time for her to retire. Miss Francis is quite exceptional at what she does, and any of you who've needed additional help with either exam entry, supporting class, or additional needs that you might have will have encountered Miss Francis and her team, and you will know quite how good she is at what she does and what a big gap she's going to leave in the school. We really will miss her in that sense, but we wish her every happiness for a very long retirement. And finally, Mrs Denmark. Mrs Denmark has been at the school for, shall I just say, many years, and has always been one of the absolute best people in the school in terms of the quality of how she teaches and looks after people. Lots of you will have benefited from being taught by Mrs Denmark over the years and will have developed a real love of English as a consequence. And Mrs Denmark has decided it's time for her to retire, and we wish her every happiness and success in the future. At this point, we'd normally stop and give them all a round of applause. So I assume that you're all doing that at the moment. Really, the last things I want to say are about how you spend the summer. Some people have said, well, should schools be setting work over the summer? Should schools be doing lots and lots of catch-up work? The message from the government, the message from Australia, so our employer, and indeed from us, is that no, you shouldn't be. You should be spending the summer relaxing, unwinding, spending time with your friends and family, and getting ready for what's going to happen in September with a full return to school and the resumption of all of your courses. It's very odd doing this at distance, and it's very odd not being able to look people in the eye or talk about particular achievements that have happened during this year. This has been a year like no other. I can't wait for September. I can't wait to see all of you back in school, to welcome you back and to work with you to help get you back used to being to education. I wish you and your families a really pleasant, relaxing summer. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of the people around you. And I look forward to seeing you back in September. Or if you're in year 11 and you're not rejoining us, or you're year 13, I just wish you every happiness and success for the future. Don't forget where we are. If you want to get in touch, get in touch. Have a lovely summer, everyone. Thanks very much.